Hey, it's Bruce coming to you once again from weedersdigest.com. And today I want to show you what I think is some really cool video of a time lapse on Mille Lake in northern Minnesota. And what we're watching is, actually this is April 20th of 2009, and this basically just shows what the ice looks like through the course of one day. So as you can see here, based on the amount of wind that is blowing, we're going to start to see some ice flow. And there's a number of different ways that ice disappears from a lake. And one is, of course, just the typical melt. Another is through the fact that it'll actually blow up onto the shore, and as you can see right here, begin to melt or just force itself into other sheets of ice. And then the third thing is it'll actually sink. And there's a number of different myths about how it happens, but in most common cases what I see is right here, these sheets of ice that you see moving, what would have been maybe just a week or two earlier may have been 24 to as much as 30 inches thick, is really now like a very thin, very porous honeycomb type of material. If you were to pick it up, you can basically kind of see right through it. You can crush it very easily, and it can crush anything in its path as well. Now this is a couple days later, and you can see that it appears that the entire lake would be free of ice. In fact, this view we're looking across is about 19 miles across, and what's happened is that ice from the other side of the lake is now starting to come across by this particular wind. I believe this would be a wind coming out of the northwest, and so as what looked like a nice clear bay is now starting to fill back in with ice from across the lake. And when it comes across with that kind of speed, now these weren't strong winds, but had they been strong winds, those sheets of ice can come across and literally destroy anything in its path, whether it be a building or a dock or roads, trees, whatever the case might be. Mille Lake has withstood a lot of damage over the years. I've seen it as a kid growing up where roads were completely covered. And so now here we are another 2 days later, and again it looked to be a completely cleared lake. Now on this would be April 22nd of 2009, this particular bay has once again filled in what would appear to be almost full of ice. And so what this indicates to me is that there's been a number of different wind directions taking the ice from one side of the lake and just pushing it around. And here you can see that it comes in and it just kind of moves around, and it's really making a lot of headway. And one of the things that we find on a lake like this is that if people are not aware of the different options that you have, like we sell a de-icing type of equipment, and a de-icer really does a phenomenal job. In this particular case, this is a de-icer that I'm holding on my dock, and typically you would put it down in the water so that you can get the water from down below, which is actually warmer on the bottom of the lake because it's being heated by the earth. You put that down below and you have more of a flow of water like this. Here's an actual example of using a de-icer like we carry, where a complete city or town or community is keeping all of their docks and their piers and everything wide open so that they have full access all year round. And this is being done through the use of de-icing equipment. Now taking you actually back to Lake Mille, this is a live view right now on a webcam. And I should mention that these webcams that I'm viewing are actually webcams that you can find online. They're mnlakecams.com. They've got a number of different ones. This is from, as you can see, that same position, and we're now in coming up on mid-January, and you can see dotted all the way across our ice houses out there. Now if you're not familiar with where Lake Mille is, it is located in northern Minnesota, just about 2 hours north of the Twin Cities, and the lake itself is about 19 miles across. And this is actually the area near Isle, Minnesota that we were watching those cams. And this is actually one of them again that we're finding, this picking up where we last left off on April 22nd, 2009, Lake Mille, Minnesota.